Students, in last few sessions we have learned about electric force and electric field. As we have already learned, electric field is a vector quantity. Electric field is always, remember, it is vector quantity. It is in the direction of electric force. Electric force and electric field both will be generally in same direction if charge is positive. Now this is defined as, electric field is defined as the electric force acting on a positive test charge Q placed at that point divided by the test charge. So it is simply E is equal to Fe divided by Q. This is what already we have learned. As we know, F is equal to K Q1 Q2 by R square, which gives you the magnitude of electric force, where K is constant, that is 9 into 10 power 9 Newton meter square Coulomb square. Substituting that F value over here, you will be getting electric field as E is equal to K Q divided by R square. Now from this equation, you can rewrite this equation as electrostatic force acting on the charged particle placed in electric field as F is equal to Q into E. This is one more important equation which we will be using in solving problems. So just I am modifying this equation. F is equal to Q into E. What does this equation tells you? This equation tells that when a charged particle Q, this is test charge. When you are placing a charged particle in field, when you are placing a test charge in the electric field of another charge capital Q, it will experience a force. It will experience a force, and that force usually depends upon the charge which it is. Say for example, if it is positive charge, then this will be positive. Fe and E both are in the same direction. Suppose if Q is negative, that means you are placing a negative charge in electric field of another particular charge, then force and field both will be in opposite direction. So that is what very important thing. Remember, force and field, they will be in same direction if you are placing a positive charge in the field. Whereas if you are placing a negative charge, force and field both are opposite to each other. And remember, charge is a scalar quantity, force is a vector quantity, field is a vector quantity, E must be vector. And the unit of electric field is Newton per Coulomb, because force has unit Newton and charge has unit Coulomb. Newton per Coulomb is the unit of electric field. So these are things we have already discussed in previous session. Now coming to next concept, let us learn what is the magnitude of electric field due to a point charge. Let us consider a positive charge. Say here is positive charge. This is capital Q, right? And from this positive charge, we know that electric field will be directed outward, as we have discussed earlier. Electric field is directed outward. Clearly you could see in this figure. Now here is a point charge. This is capital Q, and from that capital Q there is field lines tending outward. I want to now find out electric field at this position. I want to find out electric field at this particular point. So it is very simple. You are taking a charge capital Q over here. and you are placing a test charge over here, and as both are positive, there will be field outward, and I want to find out field at this particular point. Because both are positive charges, field will be in the direction of force. So what you'll do, simply you'll use basic relation, electric field is equal to electric force divided by test charge. See, this is not the test charge, this is the test charge, this is test charge. Now F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught capital Q small q divided by small q, and separation between these two, where you want to find that separation, say it as R, that gives you R square, Q and Q gets cancelled. So electric field due to point charge is equal to K capital Q divided by R square, and simply we are dealing with magnitude over here. This is only magnitude. Going to vector notation, you should write this as E bar, which is equal to K capital Q divided by R square into R cap. R cap is in the direction of electric field. So as we know that R cap is equal to R bar divided by R magnitude, taking this R cap and substituting here, you will be getting E bar is equal to K capital Q divided by R cube into R bar. This is the equation which is in vector form, right? So this is vector notation of electric field. This is similar to electrostatic force vector notation, which we have already discussed in previous part. Only the thing is, in case of electric force, you will have two charges in the numerator. In case of electric field, there will be only one charge in the numerator. That is difference between equations of electric force and electric field. And remember, electric force and electric field, they will be in same direction if you are taking a positive charge. So I hope this equation is clear. In this particular slide, we are going to learn about neutral point or null point. We have already learned that a null point or a neutral point is that where net field experienced at that point is equal to 0. So a null point is that point where due to both the charges, net field should be equal to 0. Now let me make it a little bit clear for you. Now let us take 2 point charges. QA is 1 point charge and QB is other point charge. Now let me take, here is QA. And there is another point charge, let it be QB. These two charges are separated by certain distance. These two are separated by certain distance. Let me take it as R. And here we are placing this along x-axis. This is x-axis. These two charges are exactly lying on x-axis, and we have QA and QB whose magnitudes of the two charges. Now I want to locate a neutral point between these two charges. So what you need to do, simply graphically we can locate a neutral point like this, like simply as it is positive charge, there will be field outward from this, and as it is also positive charge, there will be field outward from this, right? If at all QA magnitude is equal to QB magnitude, if the magnitude of these two charges are equal, that means if this is 10 coulomb and this is also 10 coulomb, exactly the neutral point is at the center. Neutral point will be center if magnitude of charge A and magnitude of charge B, if they are equal, then null point is at the center. But always it may not be the same situation. Null point may be different because magnitude of two charges may be different. So null point, you can locate it simply by drawing the electric force of lines like this. And this becomes null point, right? So this is what we have already learned in yesterday's session. Now mathematically, we are going to derive an equation to find out a null point. So that we will be dealing here. If two charges are like charges, you are taking two like charges, say here is QA and here is QB. These two charges are separated by certain distance R, and it is given condition that QA magnitude is not equal to QB. QA and QB magnitudes are not equal. As these two charges are same, like they are positive charges, a neutral point can be located somewhere in between QA and QB. Now for that, let me consider neutral point is at this position, say N, which is at a distance x from the charge QA. From charge QA, we are assuming that a neutral point is formed at a distance R. And if that is x distance, then this distance will be R minus x. Fine. Now a neutral point is that point where net field is equal to 0. I will be using that concept. At neutral point, E net is equal to 0. That means net field, because of both the charges, they will be nullified. Now you can observe it carefully. You can see that QA will be exerting force in which direction? Right side. This is EA, field due to charge A, that is right side. And what about this QB? QB will be exerting force in opposite direction, and that will be like this. It is EB. So EA and EB both are opposite to each other. Now as their magnitude should be equal and they are oppositely signed, you can write at neutral point E net is equal to 0. Therefore, magnitude of field produced due to charge A should be equal to magnitude of field produced due to charge B. Simply using the basic equations of this EA, electric field due to A. How do you write it? It is K. Charge here will be QA divided by separation from these 2 points, it is X. This gives you X square. So EA, electric field due to charge A, is KQ by R square. R is the separation, that is X over here. This should be equal to field due to B, that will be KQB divided by separation here will be R minus X whole square. Now K and K gets cancelled. It is R minus X by X whole square is equal to QB divided by QA. Now from here you can write R divided by X minus 1 is equal to under root QB divided by QA. And from here you can write R by X is equal to 1 plus under root QB divided by QA. And from here you can write down the value of X, and that X can be written as R divided by 1 plus under root QB divided by QA. This is the position. X is the position where you will be getting neutral point. So from here you can calculate, like for different charges you can use this equation and you can find out the null point between two charges. Say like QA 10 coulomb, QB 100 coulomb. They are separated by distance 100 centimeter. Find out the null point. So what you will do, simply R100 you will substitute, and QA, QB, those charges you will be substituting over here, so that you can get X value, right? So if two charges are like charges, null point will be lying in between those two charges, right? Similarly, if two charges are unlike charges, then in which direction you can see the null point. Now I'll be showing it here. Say for example, I can erase this total. I'll be erasing that so that the second one become easy. Now coming to this part, if two charges are unlike, that means you are taking one charge as positive and the other one as negative. Here you have charge QA and this is positive, and here you have charge QB and this is negative. If two charges, these are opposite to each other, they are unlike charges. If your null point, definitely QA and QB, field lines will be like this. Field lines can be starting at QA and they will be ending at QB. Therefore, you will not get a null point between these two. You will not get null point between these two charges, because here QA flux lines or these field lines start from charge QA and they enter towards this QB. Now a null point can be obtained outward from these two charges. It can be out somewhere from these two charges. Like let me take at this position. I can say that null point can be formed over here. Why it is so? It is because, for example, if I take this QB will be exerting force towards. This is field due to B. Now coming to QA will be exerting force outward from here. This is EA. So I can find out this X value. Let me take this as X, and this total distance, it can be R plus X. Now using the basic rule that EA magnitude should be equal to EB magnitude at null point. At null point both magnitudes are equal. So I can write EA. EA is this. So it is K QA divided by R plus X whole square, which is equal to EB. It is K QB divided by, separation is X square. K and K gets cancelled. Now from here you can write R plus X divided by X whole square is equal to QA divided by QB. From here R plus X by X is equal to under root QA divided by QB. From this you can write R by X is equal to under root QA divided by QB minus 1. And from this you can write X is equal to R divided by under root QA by QB minus 1. I'm sorry, this so root is only for this particular term. It is QA divided by QB minus 1. This is equation for null point produced due to two unlike charges. Unlike charges. Whereas for like charges, you can write it as X is equal to R divided by 1 plus under root QB divided by QA. I think in the previous equation also I have to root for whole denominator. I'm sorry. This will be the final expression. X is equal to R divided by 1 plus under root QB divided by QA. This is how you can locate null point between two charges, whatever their magnitudes may be. So students, for your memory, I am just explaining properties of electric lines of force once again in this particular slide within just a very brief time. So remember, electric field, because of uniform, that means if the charges are uniform, if the charges magnitudes are equal, say for example here it is 10 coulomb and this is positive, here it is minus 10 coulomb. Both charges, both magnitudes are equal. As their magnitudes are equal, the field lines will be uniform, and the uniform field is always represented by the lines whose distance between them is constant. Understand this carefully. See, let me take these 2 points. Let me take 2 points. Say this is A and this is B and this is C. Now I am taking another point over here. It is P and this is Q and this is R. Now as the field is uniform, what I mean to tell you is separation between AP, separation between BQ, separation between CR. All those separations are equal. So therefore AP length is equal to BQ length is equal to CR length. This represents that field is uniform. If at all it is non-uniform, then the magnitude of these charges will be different. In such cases, the field lines separation will be varied. Separation of these field lines will be changed. That means AP will not be equal to BQ and that will not be equal to CR. Right? So that is about uniform and non-uniform fields. And remember that electric lines of force, they are imaginary lines. For our convenience, we are representing electric field lines in order to study them. They are imaginary lines which are being chosen by the learner. And the second thing is, a unit positive charge placed in electric field tends to follow the path along the electric field line. This is what yesterday we have discussed. If you are placing a test charge, that will be moving along the field direction. Point number 3, electric lines of force emanate from positive charge and terminate on negative charge. The tangent to the electric field, say this is particular point. At this point, if you draw tangent, at that point you will be getting electric field. Say here, if I want to find out electric field, simply draw the tangent. Here I want to find out electric field, simply draw the tangent. The tangent of electric field line at that point gives you electric field direction. And the last one is, the two lines of force will not cross each other, because if they cross each other at that point, it represent field is extended in two directions, which is not possible. And remember, electric field is a vector quantity. Always you should use vector laws in order to sum up them. In order to add electric fields, you should use vector laws. Students, in this particular slide, we have two figures where as the separation between any two lines, this is the same, right? Therefore, it is uniform field. And uniform field is produced because the charge over here and charge over here, their magnitudes are equal. Now, if you are taking any 2 points in this uniform field, like for example, X and Y, field produced at this position X and field produced at this position Y, both magnitudes are equal. Similarly, field produced at this point, I denote it as Z. So Ez magnitude is also equal to Ex, and that magnitude is also equal to Ey. So in the uniform field, wherever you are taking at any point, field will be always equal in that particular uniform field. Everywhere field magnitude is remained same. Now check it in this particular figure B. We have A, P, and we have B, Q. Clearly in this figure, AP length is not equal to BQ. Clearly BQ magnitude is greater than AP magnitude. BQ and AP, their magnitudes are different. Clearly, when you are moving away, what is happening here? Separation between two field lines goes on increases. Now in this region, field lines are greater in less area, and in this region field lines, see here, area covered is more, field lines are same. Here area covered is less, field lines are same, 1 2 3 4 5. Now let me take this area as 1 centimeter square, and this area I can take it as like 2 centimeter square. Same 5 field lines are extended in 2 centimeter square here, and here it is in 1 centimeter square. So here it is more density of the field lines. Therefore, clearly magnitude of field at position X will be greater than magnitude of field at position Y. And one more important thing you can learn in this particular session is, I will be taking one more point here. Let me take it as Z. Now these two are in the same vertical point, right? Similarly, you can take one more. See, this model is been asked in JEE and NEET exams many times. This is very, very important concept. Now this particular, these 3 points, X, Z, and let me take it as P. All the 3 are in same vertical line, right? They are in the same vertical line. Therefore, field at P is equal to field at Z is equal to field at X, and this field is not equal to field at Y, and magnitude of field at X is greater than magnitude of field at Y, right? So remember that field lines will be extended from positive to negative charges, and the non-uniform field lines will be in such a way the separation between two field lines goes on increases or decreases. If separation is increasing, just like how I shown here, if separation is increasing, field decreases. Field decreases. And this is one more thing. Second thing what I mean to tell you is, here you have some charge, say it be QA. Here you have charge QB. You can clearly tell which is positive charge and which is negative charge, right? So QA is positive, QB is negative, because field lines are starting from A and they are ending at B, right? And one more thing here, see, field lines are starting from this position, they are going away outward. Therefore, here if you consider QX and here it is QY, QX is positive because field lines are starting from this position, and QY is negative because field lines are starting from ending at this particular point. So when you are considering field lines, you can give the signs of, you can give the sign of that particular charge using the field lines, because field always extend from positive charge. So here it should be positive charge, and from positive charge it is extended outward. Therefore here it should be negative charge, right? Hope this concept is clear. Students, in previous slides, we have discussed about the effects of electric field. We have learnt about null point, and we have discussed about the directions of electric field, uniform and non-uniform electric fields. In this particular article, we are going to learn about motion of charged particle. Motion of charged particle in uniform electric field. Remember that I am taking uniform electric field. So whenever I want to write uniform electric field, I will be using uniform electric field. And whenever I want to write non-uniform electric field, simply I will add one more n to the left of this. So uniform electric field and non-uniform electric field. Now in this case one, you could clearly understand that there is a positive and negative charge. Here it is positive charge, here it is negative charge. As it is uniform electric field, separation between the field lines is equal throughout this particular figure. So it represents that uniform electric field it is. Now what I am doing, you are placing a charge parallel to the field. You are placing a charge parallel to the field. Now that charge can be positive or negative. For example, I'll be first choosing that charge is negative. Let me take it as minus q. I am placing a negative charge minus q in uniform electric field. Now when I am placing it uniform electric field, in this figure you could understand, like see, we know that E is equal to F divided by Q, and this Q is negative charge, so I am writing it as minus. Then from here, F is equal to minus Q into E, both are vector quantities. Now in this particular equation, clearly F bar and E bar are opposite to each other. Because of negative sign. As there is negative sign over here, F and E, F vector should be in opposite direction to that of E vector. Therefore, when you are placing this charge, see it is negative charge. Field is in which direction? Right side, but it is experiencing a force left side. This is force on the negative charge. It is left side. Therefore, remember, minus Q charge accelerate in opposite direction of field. So remember, if you are placing negative charge, that charge will be accelerated in opposite direction as that of the electric field. That is case A. Now let us take case B. Obviously, you are dealing with a positive charge. If it is positive charge, simply you can write F bar is equal to Q into capital E. F and E both are in the same direction. F and E are in same direction. As they are in same direction, you could understand that positive charge, that means you are placing plus Q charge, that plus Q charge accelerate. It is accelerating because there is force applied over here. Accelerates in the direction of electric field. It accelerates in the direction of electric field. F is equal to QE. Now I can simply write, we know that F is equal to MA, where a is acceleration, m is mass of the charged particle. I'll just use those in this equation. It will be ma is equal to q into e. From this I can write acceleration of the charged particle will be q e divided by m, and this is the equation you need to memorize in solving problems. When you are placing a charged particle in uniform electric field, that charged particle will experience an acceleration, and that acceleration is in the same direction of electric field if it is positive charge, and if it is negative charge, then obviously acceleration is in opposite direction to that of the electric field. Equation for acceleration is QE divided by m. Now we have derived equation for acceleration. So we have got these equations. F is equal to Q into E, and we have also learned acceleration A is equal to Q E divided by M. I am dealing with only positive charge. I don't want to make it complicated by taking negative. So these are the equations we have got. We have derived lastly. Now let us write down equations of motion for this charged particle, right? For example, if this charged particle, it is starting at this position, it has some initial velocity u. When you are placing it, say we are dealing with positive, so it will be having initial velocity u. Because of acceleration, this charged body gains velocity. Finally, its velocity will be v. Therefore, you can write down equations of motion as we have v is equal to u plus at. T is time taken for acceleration. So final velocity v will be equal to initial velocity plus acceleration is q e divided by m into t. This is first equation of motion. So when you are placing a charged particle in uniform electric field, final velocity is given by this equation. And second equation of motion, we have second equation as S is equal to ut plus half at square. I can use this equation where a is there. I'll be just substituting that. So distance traveled in uniform electric field is u into t plus half into acceleration is q e divided by m into t square. This is second equation of motion. And coming to the third equation, we have v square minus u square is equal to 2as. Taking a is equal to this value, I can write it as v square minus u square is equal to 2 into acceleration is q e divided by m into s. This is the third equation of motion. And remember, all kinematic rules are applicable in this particular for this charged particle. All kinematic rules are valid. And remember, in uniform electric field, if charged particle is placed parallel, then charged particle will be accelerated in the same direction as that of the electric field. So here field is horizontal along x-axis. Therefore, particle move parallel to field. Particle move parallel to field, that is in x-axis itself. In x-axis only it is moving, it is parallel. And these are the equations which are valid. As there is only one-dimensional motion, you can use these equations directly. If at all particle is moving perpendicular like this, particle is entering perpendicular to the magnetic electric field, then in such cases you will be having both x-axis and y-axis. That we will be discussing in next coming sessions.